listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
What is up, guys? It's Wacky Wednesday here on Sweep the League. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Derek Gervin, the Hall of Famer, Detroit legend. Derek Gervin's going to be joining us as usual. We are the host of Sweep the League, and we are going to be joined by a special guest. Not going to announce who it is. Obviously, we like to do things a little wrestling here by having some mystery guests coming out here. And you know what? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got to turn my light on because I'm in the dark here. Hold on. There we go. Now you guys can see this ugly face. It didn't get any better with the light. The line just shines worse on this face here. But we got a special guest. Before we bring on Derek Gervin and our special guest who will be joining us here in a little bit, STL 316. What is that? The new wrestling podcast. Tomorrow, myself, the Doctor of Style Sith, we're going to be going live previewing Saturday night's main event in San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be this weekend. We're going to preview it tomorrow night. It's going to be myself, the Doctor of Style Sith. Be sure to join us. We'll drop the time for you guys to join us. It's going to be a live version of that. Also, Sweep Unplugged, another great one episode come out this morning. Grading the Market came out as well this morning. It came out this evening. We're going to have more Grading the Market episodes tomorrow. So just be ready, guys. The best way to get it is head over to our YouTube page, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. So I'm not going to waste any time now. We're going to bring the guys on right now. First and foremost, let's bring on the Hall of Famer himself. I see he has a little bit of technical difficulties. It's Derek Gervin. What's going on, Derek? You all right over there? I see the phone going off and on.
Well, man, I don't know why it keeps jumping off on me, but here I am.
All right.
Yeah,
if
I'm doing fine,
off,
Rudy.
Yeah, if it jumps off, you just jump back on, man. So don't worry about that. But we're not going to waste any time. We're going to bring on the special guest here. We didn't announce who it was. We didn't, do all that. He's like the number 30th entrant in the Royal Rumble coming out this weekend, or not this weekend, but when the WWE does it. So let's bring him on for everybody out there. Should we give him guesses, or we should just do it? No, we're not going to give him any guesses, man. We're just going to bring him on here. It is the legend himself. It is Megatron. It is Jeff Garcia joining Sweep the League. What is up, Jeff?
Nothing much, dude. How y'all doing, man? Hey, Derek. I heard some news that. Oh, that's kind of loud. What is that? Oh, there's a.
There you go. They love you. They love you.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
What did you got for Derek?
Jeff, you heard some news, huh?
Yeah, I heard some news that you went to your first con and you loved it and you want to go back to another con.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We got to hang out. I got to walk around, talk to some of the people, interview them, learn a little bit more about Comic-Con. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time. I know Rudy had a good time at the recent con this past weekend.
Yeah, I had a great time, and we got him fresh off of Comic-Con. Derek is in and out of the chat, or in and out of the video right now, so he's having some technical difficulties with his phone right now, but he'll be back on in a minute. But yeah, fresh off of Comic-Con, Jeff, how was Comic-Con for you this past weekend?
Yeah, man, it was fun. This one I had to really, really do a lot of homework because I like anime. I appreciate it. I love it. You tell me to recommend a show, I'll check it out. But these guys and ladies, they just take it to the next level. But it was good. I got to meet a lot of the voice actors. Had a couple of voice actors. One from Demon Slayer cut a plug for Locked On Spurs. And one from Dan to Dan. I don't know if you ever heard that anime before. Dan to Dan?
I have heard that one before. Actually, I have.
Yeah. I'm not kidding when I say this. The whole point of that show is that they're looking for a guy's penis. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
That's the entire thing. But you know what? It's actually up for anime of the year.
Really?
It's actually pretty well done. Like it's not.
Oh man.
It's not bad. It's funny. I asked one of the voice actors. I go, "Hey, if somebody was about to watch episode 1 for the very first time, they have no idea what's going on, what would you recommend to them?" They said they would give them trigger warnings. They go, "We're going to give you a lot of trigger warnings."
Oh man,
yeah.
That's anime for you, man. Anime is kind of crazy, and we got Derek back on again. Everybody out there, Derek might be in and out for a little bit. We're getting situated a little bit here, but he'll be doing back and forth in case he's not in there. But coming off of Comic-Con this past weekend, Jeff, was announcing how it was great, and I know Derek was super happy about Big Texas Comic-Con. He wants to do more, so I'm gonna let Derek know because I haven't told him just yet, Jeff, but. We're in the works to join Jeff again. It's not set in stone, but it's worked a little bit closer, Derek, for TerrorCon.
Yeah, Derek. Are you ready for that, Derek?
It's all scary stuff.
I think I'm ready because I heard that I came on in time to hear that last part that you mentioned. So I'll try to get ready. I think I heard the P word.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, Derek, this is something totally different.
Yeah, TerrorCon. Yeah, I'm ready. I enjoyed it. I thought.
See, we keep losing him. We're getting back, man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rudy. Sorry, my bad.
No, I say he's having some difficulties right now, but I'm hoping it works out. It's sometimes in the area, man. But TerrorCon, we're announcing that we're trying to partner up again with Jeff Garcia to go to another Comic-Con. Hopefully it will be TerrorCon. It's in the works. So for everybody out there, you want to catch myself, catch Derek Gervin, the rest of the Sweep the League crew. Our crew has grown a little bit more since the last con we did. You definitely want to check out TerrorCon, where Jeff Garcia is going to be hosting. Yeah. And they've only made one announcement, right?
Yeah, Juliette Lewis is the only one they've gotten so far. But, I mean, it's still a ways away. It's still not till June. So I'm pretty sure there'll be other surprise announcements. But it should be interesting. It'll be my first time ever hosting a con like this where everything's just about horror genre. Your Chucky's, your Freddy Krueger's, your Nightmare on Elm Streets, all that good stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm looking forward to it again. This is the geek stuff that I love. This is the geek stuff that I can get talking about all day long. So looking forward. I'm hoping. I think we took one step in the right direction as far as you being out there again remotely. So it's in the right path, everybody. We just got to get a few more T's crossed and I's dotted.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. We'll provide as much coverage as we can. As we get closer to TerrorCon, we'll be doing some more live Sweep Unplugged with Jeff Garcia, who's going to be hosting TerrorCon. We'll get all the actors and actresses that we can. We'll try to talk to them before the show. We'll do everything that we can to provide the best content that we can for TerrorCon in San Antonio, Texas. And, the thing with Jeff, too, is not only does he obviously MC and make every Comic-Con locally the best Comic-Con in the world, he does do a little bit of coverage when it comes to sports. And it's cool. It reminds me, it's weird. He covers the death of Optimus Prime colors, which are silver and black for the San Antonio Spurs. We're going to go Transformer route there. You like that? You like that little one there?
That was good. Especially with my avatar being Megatron, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense, man. I'm a huge Megatron fan. Transformer wise, it's what Soundwave is number one for me. Megatron, Starscream. I don't even know if I have an Autobot on my top 5.
Didn't you get something commissioned, drawn for you? I think you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Actually, a Soundwave that's right behind me, and I got a Rodimus Prime, but I just liked it from the movie. Let's bring Derek back on here. It's tough, Derek, but we're gonna make it work, man.
Hey, Rudy, let me apologize to you guys, man, because I've never had this happen while we're on the air. And Jeff, I'm not saying you bad luck, man. I want to apologize to everybody. I just went ahead and rebooted my phone, so hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, hope so, man. Hope so. But we're talking about TerrorCon, Derek. So basically, TerrorCon, Freddy Krueger, Jason, all the scary stuff in movies. Pretty much what we're going to get on this one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to cover it with Jeff this time.
Yeah, hopefully. But
all the stuff Jeff, I want to be there, my man. I just heard all the stuff you're talking about. I want to be a part of it, man. Yeah.
We are trying. Yeah, we got the ball's moving in the right direction, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try, man. Try to get back out there. Spurs talk. We're going to get into quick Spurs talk. Let me play a quick video. You guys will be able to hear it out there. So what do we got going on this week? We got Spurs in Paris. Low Spurs, I think. I think that's where the video comes from. But here we go. Spurs in Paris. There we go. Spurs in Paris. It's this week. They're playing. What is it? Is it 3? It's 2 games back. It's Indiana Pacers, both games. They're in Paris. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna give Jeff's ideas on this, his previews for the Spurs in Paris, and also what's cool, Jeff, is they're international right now. One of the guys, and I'm pointing down, let's say that way. That guy played international ball, so we can kind of get the idea of how it's going to be for these NBA guys internationally. But Jeff, Spurs in Paris, man, the excitement's there, but Pacers are on a kind of a little hot streak lately.
Yeah, that they are. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because I'm preparing the preview for Ken's 5 tomorrow, and there's some kind of bad news if you're hoping that the Spurs would cruise to a win. Indiana is no slouch. I'm going to throw some numbers at you guys, all right? And Rudy, you heard these numbers already, but I don't know if Derek's heard them, okay?
Yeah.
But Derek, everybody listening in right now, this is how bad the Spurs defense has been. All right, Derek, okay, so listen to this. So we're going to look at the 3-game losing skid, okay? That's it. Just the last 3 games, what's going on. So in the first half, Derek, the Spurs' offensive rating is about a 112, which puts them right in the middle of the pack of the NBA, okay? But listen to this. Their defensive rating in the first half, in the 3-game losing skid, it's actually top 10. It's ranked 6th in the NBA at 105.3. But Derek, everybody else listen in. Rudy's heard these numbers already. Listen to what happens to the Spurs in the second half within the 3-game losing skid. Their offensive rating plummets to 22nd in the league at 109.9, and they are dead last in defensive rating. Derek, 158.7 defensive rating within the 3-game losing skid. Derek, do they even show up to play defense at all in the second half? It's like they play Matador defense.
Yeah, they play Matador. Derek's getting set up right now. He's back right now.
Okay.
That's crazy. I heard. I didn't even have to hear the stats, but I heard what Jeff said about the first half, the 112 rating. We talked about this last night, Jeff. It seems like I can't put it all on Mitch Johnson, but the coaching staff, it seems like they're not getting the guys ready for the adjustments that the other teams are making in the second half. The other teams are ratcheting up the defense, and it doesn't seem like we're responding very well on the offensive end. Then on the defensive end, we're giving up uncharacteristic, easy shots.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the guys are tired. I don't understand it, man. The lineup has been the same lineup all year. Yeah. And this is the time of the year that you have to be ready as we go down the stretch. Teams are jockeying for position. If you look at 3 through, I told really like for the 3rd position to the 14th position, every night the things can change. The standings can change. And it seemed like the guys aren't mentally ready like we should be. And that starts off from the top. And then, of course, we got to get Victor more involved. I know he's been struggling on his shot lately, the last few games. But we got to ratchet it up quickly, man. And I see us as a playoff team. And now is not the time to be sliding and going backwards. So the guys have to figure it out, and they got to put it all on the line. And that includes the coaching staff as well.
A couple of things, Derek and Rudy, is if you look at the 3-game losing skid, and then you toss in the Chicago game, they've lost to the top 2 teams in pace in the NBA. Memphis is number 1. Chicago is actually number 2. Okay? So in this 3-game losing skid, it looks like they have an issue with keeping up the pace. They can't keep up with a faster team. Well, Indiana, who they play tomorrow, is actually top 10 in pace. The Spurs are about 16th, 17th in pace. So if Indiana's going to take a book out of the pages of Memphis and Chicago, it's just run on the Spurs because they can't handle a fast-paced game.
They can't. They really can't. And that's the problem, I think, what the Spurs is going to experience tomorrow with the Indiana Pacers. And not only tomorrow, but on Saturday as well. I mean, Indiana's going to be a running gun team. You see the rise again of Benedict Mathurin. I mean, Miles Turner. It's going to be havoc for the San Antonio Spurs. It's crazy. It's real crazy because you're in Paris. You're expecting to see, Victor have a massive game in front of his home crowd, and you're expecting, hey, he's going to ball out, yada, yada, yada. But what people don't understand is there's a difference between the Paris games right now and Paris games before. This isn't an exhibition. This is real NBA season basketball here. So it's not like the Pacers are going to go and roll over because Victor's back in Paris. Nothing like that. These games count. This isn't the in-play tournament for the championship where it doesn't count. These games count. The Pacers are on a roll. The Spurs are struggling. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Spurs win 1 out of the 2 games, but also wouldn't shock me to see them lose both of them right there. Man. Talking to Jeff Garcia with Hall of Famer Derek Irvin. The thing with the whole Spurs system right now is what Derek and I talked about last night. Was we mentioned the Locked On Spurs I did with you and the solution. Both Derek and I remember on Locked On, and Derek mentioned it too, coaching. I mean, it's coming out of the locker room, man.
It is.
Mitch, great coach, Mitch, but he's not NBA ready. And I think like Derek was saying the other day too, it's the adjustment part of Mitch Johnson that we're not seeing. I think, Derek, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit more.
You okay, Derek?
Yeah, I think his phone.
He's never had to deal with this kind of stuff before when you kind of like hit a wall.
Yeah, his internet's kind of bad right now. Yeah, we'll get back into Derek. Derek's having a lot of trouble right now, so he'll be back pretty soon. But it goes back to like what we talked about. It's the coaching part. And Mitch, again, no shot at Mitch or nothing at all. You're doing what you can with the team that you're dealt.
Yeah.
And beginning of the season, I remember I preached to you and I preached to a lot of people that, I had them at 30 wins. And yeah, they're way past, the whole, point where I figured they would be. But let me bring Derek back in here. Don't get frustrated, man. I know it's tough.
Rudy, I'm going to have to let you guys go without me after this so I can figure out my phone. But can I say this quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
When Jeff mentioned the Bulls and the Grizzlies, the thing that's not good about it, I'm sure he mentioned it, that we're playing another very fast-paced team. If people remember last year, Indiana was putting up 140 points.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to get back. Guys got to get back. Instead of like crashing the boards on offensive misses, guys have got to hustle back on defense, turn around and see the ball. And we all got to be in sync. We still have a chance to do good things this year, but the guys have got to figure it out. There's only so much Mitch Johnson can do from the bench.
Yeah.
And these guys are veterans. Other than Stephon Castle, I consider Sohan and all these guys veterans now. We know CP3, Harrison Barnes, and all those guys. And they got to start communicating more and figure it out. We need to win defensively first and not focus as much on being efficient offensively. We need to be efficient defensively.
Derek, I never thought I would tell this on your show and in Rudy's show that the Spurs in the last 5 games are dead last in the NBA with Victor as an anchor. They're dead last even with Victor. That's how bad it is.
It's really bad. It really is really, really bad.
That's pretty bad, Jeff.
Yeah, it is. And Derek, I was going to ask you, I know you're having tech issues, but if you can hear this, you've been on NBA teams. Obviously, you played in the NBA. How can a team go from such a good first half to a horrible second half in an instant? Like, it just boggles my mind. Like, how can the Spurs go from a top 10 defensive rated team, a top 10 offensive rated team, to the bottom of the barrel in just over a half? I mean, what happens at halftime? Derek, have you ever been on teams like that?
We actually lost him right there, Jeff. Again.
Okay, well, then Rudy, can you help me explain that though? I mean, I can't accept it because does a switch go off? I mean, they're getting beat by 20 or more points in this losing skid.
Well, and that's where if you go back to numbers, as we get Derek back on here,
it's crazy, man. Look at that answer, Jeff. You become kind of content, man. Guys stopped doing the things they were doing in the first half. You know, if you really look at the Spurs, they've already over-exceeded the expectations. Rudy and I had them for like 30 to 35 wins, and they're on pace to do much better than that. And sometimes when you do that, guys start becoming content. They stop communicating. And then when that happens, you're looking at the situation we're having right now. Still haven't really figured out on a daily basis what's going to be our starting 5. 1 minute Castle's in the lineup. Next minute he's out, sometime because of injury or whatever it may be. And you don't develop the chemistry that you need to moving forward. And I think sometimes when you got your star is still a young guy, only in his second year in the league, we don't really have those veterans. We got CP3, but him and Harrison Barnes, but Chris is kind of getting up there in age, as we know. And Harrison is kind of taking a back seat ever since Golden State, basically. But the guys got to figure it out, man. You just keep grinding. Back to you. Just keep grinding. Start communicating a little more defensively. We have too many defensive breakdowns, even like in the pick and roll, the pick and pop. We're running out, recovering to guys late. And then when you do that, you're allowing teams to break you down, break the defense down. And, you know, today when they break the defense down, they penetrate. You have to clog the lane. And what do? Then they kick it back out.
Yeah, it just
happened this game.
It's just hard for me to wrap my head. Oh, so I can't tell because
they both guys like Miles Turner. We cannot let them get off and start knocking down shots. And we got to keep guys like T.J. McConnell and guys like that out of the paint.
There you go.
Yeah, you definitely do. And playing Indiana, you know, the Spurs are catching them at the worst time for the Spurs, but the right time for the Pacers. So I was doing my homework right now, Rudy, and check this out. So over the last 18 games for Indiana, the Pacers are outscoring teams by 7.3 points while holding them to 109.5. So their defense has been ratcheting up of late. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for the Spurs tomorrow in the afternoon for Indiana at all.
No, it's not a cakewalk. And like I said, I expect a 1-1. I expect the series split in Paris for the Spurs in Indiana. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a split. It wouldn't even shock me if the Spurs went 0-2. I mean, I hate to say that.
No,
but
it would shock me at all, too. At all.
The chemistry's not there. I mean, you see it. It's like we talked about on Locked On Spurs. You see the chemistry, and it's good in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it just goes downhill.
I know.
And you can blame the players. You can blame the starting 5. It's not the right starting 5 on paper. We know what starting 5 works.
Yeah.
But then you got to, at some point, and let me get your take on this. Do you have the pulse of the fans on there? Where is the percentage of the blame on the coaching staff? Not Mitch, but the coaching staff.
I'm gonna give him 60%.
So we are seeing majority of the fans kind of point the finger at the coaching staff.
It is, because you got to make adjustments, and if the defense is not working, then get something out there that will work. You know, Keldon Johnson, love him. He's a good guy for the community and everything, but he's not a defensive beast out there. You know, he could be an issue too. You know, hey, look. Do you give the Spurs a pass? They haven't had Sohan. He's not the best defender in the NBA, but he's good for the team. I think the Spurs with him on the court, they're about a 111 point something or another, give or take a couple points defensive rating. So he does provide some ability to shore up the defense. But here's the thing: you're gonna lose this kid. What do you got to lose? Throw out Zach Collins out there. At least he'll muddy it up. At least he'll throw his body around.
Yeah.
What's wrong with putting Bassie out there a little bit more? How about shaking things up? By maybe having Castle start. Okay, fine. Don't want to start in the starting lineup for the opening tip. How about starting the second half? Insert them faster, because you got to shake this up. So, look, they have a lot of analytics teams out there. They crunch the numbers. They know this.
Yeah.
We know this. You know this, Rudy. The best team the Spurs have had is been with the one with Castle starting, and he hasn't started in a while. He gets in faster, but he's not starting though.
So, and that's where I think, like I mentioned, it's where they get off to a fast start. Okay.
They do. Mm-hmm.
You like that starting lineup, but coming out of the halftime locker room is when they get obliterated. And when I say obliterated, I'm actually being nice.
Yeah.
I'm being nice about it. They're getting murdered under the basket. They're getting outscored by a lot. And it's like, that's where the adjustment needs to be. Okay, my best lineup has always been CP3, Barnes, Wemby, Champagny, and Castle. That's my third quarter lineup. I hate the traditional, our starting five is going to start the second half because that's tradition. Mm-hmm. I had a coaching staff when I played basketball was whatever works is going to be on the court. So if our starting five played good, but I saw in the second quarter that this team was doing better, this lineup, that's who started to play. And that's where I kind of feel like screw tradition. Give me the lineup that works the best. And we all know what the lineup is that works the best. So talking to Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs, host of Locked On Spurs. Follow him on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And of course, Derek Gervin, he will be back. He's having some technical difficulties tonight, but don't worry. Jeff is saving the day. We're going to have him a little bit longer. If you can go a little longer, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go longer. Yeah. I'm multitasking right now. I'm multitasking right now. I'm getting Los ready for tomorrow.
I won't ask you to preview Los for tomorrow then. We'll leave that. Don't. Yeah. Promise it wasn't me this time. So I wasn't a part of this one. I usually get called on the weekends.
You might be part of the Friday one because I'm going to have you on standby. I'll talk to you about that later, but you may close out the week with us. Well, yeah. I mean, when you want the best, you call the best, and that's no shots fired right there. No shots fired. But talking to a host of Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia. I wish I was a Hall of Famer. Oh, was that? I said I wish I was a Hall of Famer like Derek.
Well, you are a Hall of Famer. You're on the cusp of that. Do they have a Hall of Famer for writers, right? They have to.
I think they do, yeah.
You got to be on the cusp.
Doesn't the Naismith Hall of Fame have a wing for writers too?
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to start a campaign.
There you go.
Naismith Hall of Fame for Jeff Garcia.
I'll take it.
As long as I can be the one to talk at your podium and introduce you to the Hall of Fame. I like that. Yeah, all right. Then I'm going to start the campaign. We need 20,000 signatures. You've got 40,000 followers. So you can get that easily if everybody just signs the signatures, gets Jeff into the Hall of Fame. But talking about Spurs in Paris, talking about the struggles the Spurs have had, they're bad. Are they literally super bad to where this team can't turn it around? Well, and this is the last part, the question of this that I'm asking here. This is where it counts. Can they turn it around without making a move at the trade deadline?
Ooh. But Steve, that's the thing. If they get to the trade deadline and they're still bad, why even bother? Just get a good spot in the draft. I mean, do you really want to move the roster around, shake it up around, and be a middling team?
I mean, you could. You technically could. You could make some changes and maybe get some draft picks. So one thing that Derek and I were going to talk about, later on, and I can involve you in this, was a team out there who kind of positioned themselves as the Phoenix Suns. They added 3 first-round picks from Utah, benefits them completely. A lot of people are expecting them to make that move a Jimmy Butler-esque type of move. So Derek also mentioned the fact that they're going to have other assets that they can move. And 2 guys, one of them being former Spur Jakob Poeltl from Toronto, should be inquired about it. But he also mentioned that if the Spurs aren't going to win, Phoenix needs to make that call to San Antonio because they desperately need a point guard. So, Chris Paul being moved by the trade deadline, do you feel that this week, the games this week in Paris and whatever they've got coming back are going to determine whether Chris Paul is dealt at the trade deadline?
No, I want to go use Spurs history, then yes. Yes, historically they've done that to elder, quote-unquote, elder players. Just look at
Mo Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks. Look at, Mo Cheeks didn't do anything with Spurs. Look at LaMarcus Aldridge. Look at who's another guy where they said, go ahead and go chase your ring. And Derek White, I know he got traded, but they sent him to a great and a solid Boston team. So I can see them saying, "All right, CP3, good luck to you, and go get yourself a ring. Go somewhere and get that ring." But you know what's interesting though, Rudy, is have you seen at the midway point of the Spurs season, or just the NBA season? Vegas has updated their win totals, and I was stunned. I really thought the Spurs win totals would drop from about 35, 36 lower. It's actually increased to 39 wins. I don't know why. So Vegas knows something up.
Vegas knows that there's probably going to be something happening at the trade deadline. Maybe a little bit. Maybe there's going to be a fox on the loose in San Antonio. I have no idea. That's kind
of calmed down, right? I mean, that's kind of quiet. I mean,
it's gotten quiet, but isn't it the quiet ones you have to worry about when you don't hear those rumors anymore? Like,
we
probably can imagine that, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine they make a move? That'd be crazy.
There's no reason why Vegas should up the win total for the Spurs when it's been decreasing since the beginning of the year. Yeah, maybe it increased a little.
Yeah, 39.
But 39 wins, that's way too much. Way too much. And, I mean, the schedule doesn't show it. Leja's in here, the legendary half-edge Jeff, late to the show, but he's in here. He's saying Chris Paul is gone. And don't hate me for the following, but he says, but I hope the Spurs get smacked the hell up both games so Wemby can go off on the front office and make us happen. Well, I said they would probably go 0-2. I'd be shocked if they didn't go 0-2. Vegas always knows.
You're predicting 0-2 for them in France?
I'm predicting 1-1, but my heart tells me 0-2. The way that they have been playing and the way Indiana's been playing as of late, I would say that the Spurs are in trouble. And that's why I said I go 1-1 because I think it's Paris. I think Victor's going to get.
You can't tell me that Indiana's not going to want to, one up upstage Wemby. If I'm Indiana, I'm like, oh, this is the Beatles that we're here with. This is the guy, the man. Let's show him who's the real boss around here.
Yeah, you want to, when you're an opposing team on another man's country, forget the whole, freaking, opposing team and their opponent. Look at Manu in Argentina. They were here playing against Team America, America, and they smacked them in Indianapolis when they were playing the qualifier. They smacked everybody. You don't think that Indiana wants to go to Paris and beat the crap out of the Spurs in front of,
sure.
In front of France, all of Victor's fans out there. I mean, hell yeah, they want to go 2-0.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. So
I don't blame them right now because it's all about Wemby right now. The Spurs, Wemby and the Spurs, and Indiana's there. Like, what about us? But hey, so we got to face the Spurs there. So, but
what's up?
Go ahead.
No, Tim has a couple of questions for you, man.
Okay, go ahead.
So he's got 2-part question for Jeff. So his one part is, what part of a game you've seen Stephon Castle has grown since he was drafted by the Spurs? So what part of his game has gotten better? And also, which coach would you rather choose for the Spurs, Dan Hurley or Don Staley? Let's go on coaches there.
Okay, I'll do the coaches first. Mike Brown. I think
100%.
Mike Brown would be if the Spurs are not going to keep Mitch and Pop calls it a day, then I would go with Mike Brown. Do you think Brett Brown would want the seat again?
He does, but I don't see. Here's the thing with Brett Brown. He wants the seat. I don't think he gets the seat because he struggled mightily in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think they have a better option, Mike Brown. They can go with just about anybody, man. So I think Brett wants it, but they're not going to give it to him. I think Brett is forever the head assistant coach, put it that way.
Yeah, and then as far as areas of development for Steph Castle, well, this was kind of a cheat, but Manu Ginobili spoke with the Sports Star recently, and he said that despite the recent Spurs struggles, that Steph Castle has been a bright spot in the Spurs slump. And I think what I'm liking out of him so far is he's shown the ability to adjust, whether it's starting lineup or off the bench. He's been an impactful player of late in those roles. So I've been impressed by how he goes from starter to bench to starter. I mean, look at the NBA rookie ladder. I mean, he moved up from 5 to 2. He jumped from 5 to 2. And his point production is up. Everything is up with him right now. So he's been playing very well right now. But for me, his ability to adapt quick and level-headed, real level-headed.
Yeah, and he's going to continue to improve. There's no doubt about it with Stephon Castle. Number 2 in the NBA Rookie of the Year rankings right now. Behind it's Alexander Sarr, I think, is number 1.
Yeah, how did he get all hot all of a sudden?
I mean, I don't know. It's Washington, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you can kind of thrive when you're not expected to do anything, and your best players are Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. I mean, you're going to be the man for a while there. So it's kind of surprising that Alex Sarr, but I think Stephon can pull it out towards the end of the year. It just depends on how the Spurs do and if they work with him and use him the way that they're supposed to, which, come on, Mitch, it's starting 5 for Stephon Castle. You didn't know you won more games with him in there. Talking to Jeff Garcia, host of Locked On Spurs. And, we got the last part of the show coming up here. We didn't take any commercial breaks right now, so we're not going to keep Jeff very, very long. But last night, Sweep the League TV. Go back and watch it for those of y'all that didn't at the very end of the show. I stumped Derek Gervin big time.
You did?
Yeah, well, not necessarily stump, but him and I were talking earlier in the day, and I had to ask him on the show because I needed to get everybody's info on it. I'm going to try to get Jeff. I'm going to put the same spotlight on Jeff right now. Oh, it's, what the most impossible thing to rank, Jeff?
What's that?
The top 5 all-time actors.
Oh, that's rough, man.
You think ranking GOATs in the NBA, you think, LeBron Jordan. No. Try ranking the all-time top 5 only actors.
Yeesh.
So think about it. And Leha said he has a very important question for you. So Leha, ask your question in there while I let Jeff think about this, because I'm going to see if I have, do I have it? No, I don't have that in there anymore. But yeah, all-time top 5 actors.
Yeah.
Now, not actresses.
Okay.
Actors. So the important question is this for Leha before you get into that. Wagyu ribeye or Wagyu New York strip?
Gotta go to New York strip.
I would have to agree with that, Leha.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with the New York strip.
Yeah.
Ribeye is not great. I don't like ribeyes. Is it safe to say you prefer a sirloin over a ribeye?
Yeah, it's tender. It's a lot tender than a.
I hate ribeye. You know what I hate the most? I don't like T-bones. I hate T-bone.
Really? I don't mind T-bones. I think they're bigger.
They're bigger, but I don't like T for whatever reason. I don't like T. I think I feel like I get less meat on a T-bone.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
I get more meat with it.
Have you ever had a tomahawk?
Because I get to the point where I'm gnawing on the bone and everything. That's how I know it's.
See, good. I can't do that, man. I don't know. I don't have that nomad cannibalism, instinct in me to start gnawing on the bone. I can't do that. That other people do. You ever had a tomahawk steak?
I've heard of them, but I don't think I've ever had one.
Never have? Oh my God. Apparently the guys say you make a ton of money. So, I mean, that's the rumor.
Yeah. I know. Start that rumor.
Pichana, is it Picana? Picana is king though, or Pichana? I don't know. I'm too poor to eat all this, good stuff that you guys
steaks do. That I remembered has good steaks.
Who's that?
Oh, hang on. Josephine Cafe, Josephine Street. Steak
oh yeah,
bar. Yeah. I went there for
you want to know a secret? I've never been there.
Oh, you really are missing out then.
Everybody tells me Josephine Street Bar. I've never been. That's the one with the tree in the middle of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been. I've always wanted to go, but I can never find parking. Ever.
You park underneath the highway.
I know. There was no parking every time I go. I was going a Friday or Saturday night, and there's no parking.
It's interesting.
Very, very. You remember a steak place? You Are Cooks.
Yes. Do you remember San Francisco Steakhouse?
I do. The swinging girl on the swing. Mm-hmm. I do remember San Francisco Steakhouse. What else is gone? There's no more You Are Cooks. There's no more San Francisco Steakhouse. You think Ruth Chris is overrated?
No, I don't think it's overrated at all.
What's the most overrated steakhouse in town?
Ooh. Maybe Grayson Street. I don't know if you've been there.
I have been to Grayson. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that good.
What else? Geez, overrated. Oh,
I will say this. Outback Steakhouse, terrible.
Outback, yeah, I could definitely put them in that category.
Outback is probably the McDonald's of steakhouses. I mean, you eat there if it's free. You don't go there all the time. I mean, if you're celebrating somebody's birthday and they invite you and they're paying, why not? Get a blooming onion. But yeah, Outback is pretty terrible. Anyway, get back off the steakhouses here.
When I used to live in New York City, the business that I was working with, the skyscraper was connected to an Outback, and that's all we freaking ate every single day. So I got Outback tired. I was like, it was like Outback again, guys. Outback again. It was just so convenient because it was just stuck. It was attached to the company I was working with. So you would just take the elevator down first floor, literally open up the door from the lobby, and it's right there, connected to the building. Just go through the building.
You know, I have true stories on my show here, so I'll tell you this. One of the few times Outback brings back horrible memories for me was my current wife. You know, when we were first dating, originally it was a Valentine's Day, so I picked her up late for dinner. That was my fault. Sorry. Took her to Outback, and it was so packed we didn't stay there. We ended up eating at, I don't know if you remember, On the Border, some Mexican high class.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay. It wasn't great. So, I mean, every time I look at Outback, it just reminds me of that. And my wife sees it and she's like, do you remember? Yeah, I remember that time. So
here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Let's never eat it Outback again. But Tim Gonzalez has a quick thing he's mentioning. SGA scored 54 points tonight. Did he run with MVP award? He is my MVP winner as of right now. So definitely. But all right, Jeff, I'm putting you on the spot. I put Derek on the spot. Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, he had De Niro, Pacino, Denzel, Samuel L. Jackson, and Tom Cruise, I think, were his 5.
Okay. So I'm going to go. Okay.
I would say, how would you rank them?
Rank them? I'll no particular order. How many do you want? 5? You said 5?
Yeah, so it's just top 5. If you want to rank them, your all-time favorite, but it's just top 5 on your all-time actors list.
Oof, okay.
And guess what? You get music too.
All right, I'm gonna throw Pacino up there.
Okay.
I'll throw De Niro up there too. I'll throw him up there. Okay. So that's 2 down. Man, Denzel for sure. I'll put Denzel up there.
All right.
Oh my God, Rudy, this is
terribly hard.
Oh.
So
okay. I'm gonna throw. Okay. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Ooh, that was a curveball right there. But that's a good one.
Daniel Day-Lewis. How many? I got 3 right now, or I got 4?
You got 4. So you went De Niro, Pacino, Denzel, Daniel Day-Lewis. You need one more.
Man, oh man.
It's impossible.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Wow, Joaquin Phoenix. Okay. I would have never expected that because you still have the likes of Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, Harrison Ford,
freaking DiCaprio.
You've got John Travolta.
It's tough, man.
So the one guy I told Derek that's on my list that was a surprise, but I asked him, has he ever made a bad movie? Because I can't think of one. That's Keanu Reeves.
I think he's made a couple bad ones.
Which one? I mean, the only one I could think of is Constantine, and I actually kind of liked Constantine.
I didn't think Johnny Mnemonic was that good.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah.
Even Tom Cruise. Rarely had a bad movie.
The Mummy was bad. The remake of The Mummy was bad.
Oh, yeah. Man, I guess they all have to have a bad one. Harrison Ford? Any bad ones?
Bad ones. Yeah, look at that. We've got about Captain Solo, man. Jeez.
Exactly. The Fugitive, Captain Solo.
Yeah. Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. He's had some of the most iconic roles in movies history.
Well, that was a tough question, man. Jeez, was it tough.
And like Derek said, we can go over this again, name the top 20, and I'm still going to leave somebody off.
Oh, yeah. You're leaving off Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's another one. Paul, and we even went classic. Paul Newman, Michael.
What about Anthony Hoskins? Anthony Hoskins. Yeah.
Psycho himself, Anthony Hopkins. By the
way, how did the Transformers get him to get on the movies? I think it was unloaded the Brinks truck for him to get on the Transformers.
I would say so, man. That whole so Transformers, I don't understand how you can see a cartoon and just not make it, live action. Megatron.
Transformers 1 was really good.
Was it really good though, or am I just being too hard on it?
No, I'm not saying it surpasses the one that we grew up with at all. I'm just saying that it was pretty good considering the crap that we've been getting of late.
Compared to everything,
I
it was.
The first one with Shia LaBeouf was that bad. I didn't think the one with Shia LaBeouf, the first one, the Michael Bay one, it was okay. It wasn't great, but all right. It captured the spirit of it.
It was okay. I will say that. I have yet to see that. Was it Transformers 1?
Oh, you're
the animated?
Out, dude.
No, I know. Yeah, I need to see it.
One, yeah.
Yeah, I do need to see it. I will go see it.
You'll see one of the best voice acting jobs for Megatron that you haven't seen in a while. The voice acting is just incredible. What that guy did with it.
Who did it?
I don't remember his name. I just whoever did it.
Okay.
It was just remarkable.
Okay. Well, all right. Before we go, I got to ask you this. Are you ready for the G.I. Joe Transformer crossover movie?
Yeah, what happened with that? It got quiet.
It's in the making. It's still on the table. From what I understand, it's still on the table. And it kind of pissed me off because about 5 years ago, I sold my 4-issue Transformer G.I. Joe crossovers, the very first ones that came out, all first prints. And I sold them 5 years a little too early. So, yeah, terrible. For those of y'all remember, it's the one where Bumblebee's getting blown away by G.I. Joe. That was...
Like the Luka Doncic card.
Again, you got to bring up old stuff, man. Luka Doncic card would have paid for my house and my Lamborghini, easily. I would have been riding like Jeff Garcia around San Antonio. That's for sure.
I wish I had a Lambo.
All right, man. You know what? We talked some Spurs tonight. We talked some deals. We talked about Mitch Johnson, and we put Jeff on the hot seat tonight. Top 5 actors. He named 5, but I guarantee you, when we hang up from this show, he's gonna be like, you know what? Texting me.
No, there's this guy. There's this guy.
I should have put that guy. You know what, Jeff?
Damn.
I would say that would be something to maybe ask one of your next guests on Locked On Spurs.
I think so.
Maybe throw it in there and see if you can get a little bit on there, see what they say about it, because that is obviously the toughest question we've ever had to ask and answer here.
Yeah, that one.
What do they got going on at Locked On, Jeff?
Well, we got a lot. I guess technically it's still today, 1/22/25. So we have an episode today that came out. We're actually putting a focus on the good on the Spurs, despite them not playing well. There's actually silver linings in the 3-game slump. We go back 5 games, 10 games, and show that it's not completely doom and gloom. So that's right now at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. We also got some articles on Ken5.com. Kudos to the Spurs. There's an article right now that I've whipped up for Ken5. So this kid, I say kid, but he's a college graduate. He sent out a graduation invitation card to the Spurs and to Adam Sandler and to the Lakers and to Chick-fil-A and to Legos and to, just a bunch of companies and actors. Well, majority of those cards that got sent out got a response, and the Spurs were one of them. The Spurs sent them a nice letter and a lot of mementos. Adam Sandler sent him an autographed picture of himself playing the guitar. The one company that did right was Chick-fil-A. You should see what they sent that kid. Go to kenspi.com/Spurs or just go to my Twitter handle or X handle at Jeff G Spurs. And you can't miss it's a picture of a letter and the Spurs letterhead. So click on that. And look, Spurs did good, but my goodness, Chick-fil-A, they won that contest.
I need to check it out because now it makes me wonder. I'm going to start writing cards to Chick-fil-A and everybody else, see what I can get here.
You should do it.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. At the very bottom, should I put, I know Jeff Garcia, ...
Oh, man. Nah, I don't know.
They might just give me the keys to the castle. Who knows?
They might just do that.
You know what,
Rudy,
Jeff, if they... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'll say if they do, and they say you can have whatever you want from Chick-fil-A, I'm going to say I want y'all open on Sundays.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I crave Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. No other day but Sunday.
It makes sense.
No idea.
Makes sense
it's like
that Chick-fil-A and Sunday go together.
It's the forbidden fruit that you want on a Sunday.
Exactly.
I'm like, of all days, I want Chick-fil-A on Sunday. I have no idea why. So I'll keep in contact with you, Jeff. I'm going to put I know Jeff Garcia, and if they give me whatever I want, I'm going to take that.
Thank you, Rudy. I probably will text you, though, regarding a recap for tomorrow's game. I keep forgetting it's afternoon. So I'm thinking like, hey, that's still, by the time it's over, it's still a work day. Maybe Rudy can hop on afterwards and recap the game with us.
Yeah.
But we'll figure something out, Rudy.
We'll figure it out, man. But until then, Appreciate Jeff Garcia joining us here on Sweep the League TV. Be sure to go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. We've got STL 316 live coming tomorrow night with myself and the Doctor of Style Sith. We're going to be covering Saturday Night Main Event happening this Saturday here in San Antonio, Texas. Grading the Market came out with an episode today. More episodes in Grading the Market tomorrow. Also, Sweep Unplugged. We talked to Erica D'Arcangelo this morning. Great episode about pizza, of all things, and I had to do that on an empty stomach, so it was tough. You'll see the struggle. The best way to see the struggle, go to YouTube, hit search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. So for Jeff Garcia, Megatron Jeff Garcia, it's really accomplished here. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.